Hey, what's up guys? And it is 1 a.m. and I'm recording this video for you guys. Don't look at my computer watch clock because it's wrong. So here in 1 a.m. I've created a website, an e-commerce, simple e-commerce website using Bootstrap for you guys. And as you see here, we have our navbar, and after then we have a little slider which moves nicely, and after then we have our category section and our shoes section. You can also pause the video and take a look closely, and these are looking nicely. And tonight we are going to create this. And also I should mention that this website is fully responsive to any types of devices, because the main goal of using Bootstrap is to make a website responsive easily. So if I decrease the size of the web page, you will see that it's looking really amazing and it's full responsive to any types of devices. You can also increase its size to medium size. You will see that it's looking awesome, and after then our menu is still works. So we can create this tutorial if you just follow along with me, and also type code if it's possible, else just keep on watching. So let's go and create a dev. But before starting that, you can hit that subscribe button to my YouTube channel to just support me. I've already created this folder like before, e-commerce website. Inside this I've already added its image. If I get a chance to add its image in GitHub, I will, but else go ahead and do some research by yourself. You can take a look on a website like Unsplash and also Pexels. You can download really nice images from here. So after then, here we have our image and this template that we are going to use later. So the very first thing I'm going to do is to create an index.html file, but before doing that, we make sure that we are in an e-commerce website. So I'm going to say index.html, and after that I'm going to come inside the HTML. I'm going to type HTML, and this is going to generate this boilerplate for me. So I'm just going to give it a title of a Joy Shop. So these are my companies that I'm gonna create when I get rich in these websites. Sorry, I'm just kidding. So because we are going to use Bootstrap, we have to use its CDN. So I'm gonna go and Bootstrap website, and after then here, and its document and introduction section here, I'm gonna copy its CSS link. So I'm gonna go in our HTML and paste it down here, and after then we also have to get its bundle. So I'm just going to copy it from here and go here and paste it down before the body. So after then here, I'm going to come, and the very first thing here I'm going to do is to create a comment. For that comment, I saw an Indian boy doing that, so I start liking it. Here I'm going to say header section start. And I'm gonna duplicate this and put it in, and between these comments I'm gonna create a header. So I'm gonna say header, and inside this header we're gonna create our navbar, but I'm gonna go inside the Bootstrap website, and after then inside the what's called component. So inside the component here we have the navbar. So I'm gonna go inside the navbar, and after then I'm gonna scroll down and take the navbar that we want. So here we have this navbar. We don't want it, but this is the navbar that we want. So I'm just gonna copy it from here and paste it down inside my header. So now I'm gonna open this app in a browser. To do so, I'm gonna use a package called here live server, and you guys also can install this if you haven't. It's really amazing, and it saves you so much time. So I'm gonna right click on an HTML file and click on open live server, and this is going to open us up our browser live in the web page. So after then we have to customize this navbar. To do so, I'm gonna come here, and the very first thing I'm gonna do is to set its background to the dark, and also I'm gonna set its position fixed to the top. And after this, we're gonna get rid of this container fluid. We just want it to be a container. And after then here, I'm gonna come inside the navbar and change its title to Joy Shop. So after then here I'm gonna save it and take a look. It's looking like this. We will fix those two. So after then I'm gonna come and get rid of this active states from here, and here we need this home. But after then here I'm gonna change this future to shoes. So I'm going to say shoes, and it's going to refer to the shoes section. So I'm just going to pass shoes here, and also this one going to refer to the section of backpack. So I'm going to say backpack, and inside this its inner HTML we're also going to pass backpack. So after then, we don't need this disable link, so I'm gonna get rid of this, but duplicate this one because we are going to need this section of subscribe. So here I'm just gonna come and put it as subscribe, and inside this I also pass subscribe. So sorry. And now if we take a look, these are looking like this. We have to customize it and change its color to this, and also put a hover effect on. To do so, I'm gonna come here and create an style.css file. So I'm gonna say style.css. This is going to be our custom CSS file. So inside our HTML, we'll make sure that we are connected with our CSS. So after the student link, I'm gonna come and type link, and we're gonna link out the style.css file with our HTML. So after then, what I'm gonna do is to go in style.css. We need to change these colors, but before doing that, here in the main project, if you notice, this scroll bar is a little different, so we're gonna do that. I'm gonna come here inside this, and I'm gonna select the WebKit. So I'm gonna say a WebKit is scroll bar, and we're gonna set a width to it. So I'm gonna say width. Its width is going to be 10 pixels. So I'm just gonna copy this WebKit scroll bar, and after here I'm gonna come and paste it down, and we're gonna access the thumb. So I'm gonna say thumb, and its color, its background color gonna be a color like orange. And after this, I'm just gonna copy this out again. I have already did. So I'm gonna select the track and set its color, background color, to the orange red. So now if you take a look, nothing changed because there is not much content we do have a scroll bar here, but if you increase the number of contents in our web page, there we will have our scroll bar. So after then here I'm gonna come and select our HTML, not HTML, because I've decided to set its scroll behavior by default, because we used Bootstrap. Its scroll behavior set it to smooth. So after then I'm gonna select the Navbar brand. So I'm gonna come here and say Navbar brand, and inside this what I'm gonna do is to set its font size to something like 1.5 rem, and after then I'm gonna set its color to orange. So I'm gonna say orange, and color, and this is going to be orange. And also it's not going to work because Bootstrap is closer than this CSS file to the HTML. So I'm just gonna put the important keyword here. Now if I take a look, you will see that its color changed. So after then what I'm gonna do is to change these colors also to white color. So I'm gonna come here and select the nav link. So I'm gonna say nav link, and after then here I'm gonna set its color to white, but this is also going to be important. So now if you take a look, you will see that its color changed to white color. So after then here also in the main project, you notice that I put a hover effect on. So I'm gonna come here and say nav link, and whenever we hover on, we want to change its color to orange again, and it's gonna be important. So I'm gonna say important, and if you now take a look, refresh it, you will see that it's nicely changed. So after then here I'm gonna come in our index.html file. We have done with our our navbar, and you don't need to take a care of its being responsive, because already Bootstrap do it for you, and really thankful of Bootstrap. So after then what I'm gonna do is to create this section. So I'm gonna come here, and after our After our navbar, but before the header, I'm gonna open up a comment, and here I'm gonna say slider section start and end, and inside this we're gonna write the slider codes. So to do that, I'm gonna create a section here. So I'm gonna say section, and we're gonna give it a class. So I'm gonna say class, and its class name is gonna be a container, and we're gonna give it a margin y of 5. This is going to add margin from the top and the bottom. So now nothing gonna change because we put nothing inside the section. So inside the section, what I'm gonna use is to use cursor here. So I'm gonna go in the Bootstrap website, and here we're gonna search for cursor. Here we have cursor, and I'm gonna copy the code of the cursor that we're gonna use. The cursor that we want to use is this one, so I'm just gonna copy this out from here and go here and paste it down here. So now I'm gonna get rid of some unnecessary things. These are the divs that I'm gonna get rid of them. And after then here, I'm gonna also get rid of this because later we will put our custom image. And inside this, what I'm gonna do is to, I'm gonna create a row. So I'm gonna say div, and we're gonna create a row. Inside this row, we're gonna have a custom class, which is joy bg info. And after then, we're gonna give it a little padding. So I'm gonna say padding, and its padding gonna be 5. And we're gonna give it also a display of flex. So I'm gonna say display flex, and also align everything to the center. So I'm gonna say align items to center. And after then here inside this, what I'm gonna do is to create columns. So I'm gonna say div. You know that in a great system of a Bootstrap, you first need to create a row, and after then you define columns inside itself. So here I'm gonna say column, and in the large size it's going to take 7 columns of the web page. So after then here inside this, what I'm gonna do, if you take a look in the main project, you will see that we have header, p tag, and also this one is a header and this button. So I'm gonna come here inside the h7, column large 7. I'm gonna create an each one, and inside this we're just gonna copy this text from here out and paste it here. So now after then we have our p tag. So I'm gonna say p tag, and also I'm gonna copy these. I also can generate it using a Visual Studio Code, but I just copy it to make this life easier. And after this, what I'm gonna do is to have another each one. So I'm gonna say each one, and here we're gonna pass our price, for example, $120. Too much for having that twist here. So after this, if you take a look in our project, you will see that it's going to look like this. And after this, we've done with one of our columns, and but I have to put the button. So I'm just gonna say a button, and I'm gonna give this button a class. I'm gonna say class, and this class gonna call joy btn because this is a custom button, and we're gonna style it using our style.css file here. So inside this, we're just gonna say buy now. So after then, I'm gonna create our another column. So I'm gonna click on this to see where this column ends, and here I'm gonna create our another column. So I'm gonna say div, and this column gonna take the 5 columns in large sizes, large screens. So inside this, what I'm gonna do is to pass our image. Our image name is inside our image folder, and inside the image folder we have a picture called headphones. So I'm gonna just use it, and after that here we need to give it some classes. So I'm gonna say class, and its display gonna be block, and also we're gonna give it a width of 100 because we don't want it to overflow from our web page. So if you want, you can give it an all, but it's just gonna save your time. So here you will see that it's looking like this, pretty ugly. And here I think that I've done something wrong with this button. this button, yeah. So after this, we've create our column. Inside this, we just pass our image and its classes. D block, display block, and its width is 100. So LG, it's fine. Also LG, it's fine. Column 5, it should be fine. So, because we have used the button and its display should be inline, so I'm just gonna say inline. And something is wrong here, but we're gonna fix it. So I'm gonna install this button here also. So I'm gonna come in install.css, and before doing that, I'm gonna set our background, our main background. So I'm gonna say .joy bg info. I don't know if I create this. Yeah, we have created this. So after that, we're gonna give it a background, and I'm gonna say background, and its background color gonna be an orange color. So if you take a look, you'll see that it's looking like this. And after then, there's something wrong with this picture. I don't know why. Before I was practicing this project, it was looking well. So is it 5 columns? Yeah, nothing is wrong here. So after then, if I fix this button, it may gets fine. So I'm gonna come here and select the button. So I'm gonna come here and say .joy btn, and we're gonna give it a background of blue. So I'm gonna say blue, and after then I'm gonna give it a color of white. So I'm gonna say color white. Then we're gonna give it a border radius. Do you remember that I love giving border radius to everything? So I'm gonna give it a border radius of 8 pixel, and I'm gonna give it a little padding. Its padding gonna be 9 pixel from the top and bottom, and 25 pixel from the sides. And I'm gonna get rid of the border, so I'm gonna say border to none. So after then, if you save it, you will see that it's looking fine, and we have to have this button, this image here. So I guess that I put this image outside of our row. So here our row ends, and we have to get this image and put it inside that row. Sorry. So I'm just gonna come here and put it here. You will see that it's still looking ugly because here inside the column, here we have our div, and after that we have to close this column here. This column ends here, so I'm just gonna take this and put it after the button here. Now you'll see that it's looking fine, but if you take a look in the main project, you will see that we have a little gap here. To fix this, I'm gonna come here, and before our cursor, I'm gonna pass some BR here. So I'm gonna come here and put a BR, actually 2 BR. And now you'll see that it's looking fine. And after then, we're gonna go and create our category section. If you take a look at the main project, you'll see that it's we have a category, but before that, we have 2 horizontal row here. So I'm gonna come here, and at the end of our section, we've done with a header section, and after then here I'm gonna come and create our our main section. So I'm gonna come here and open up the main tag. So I'm gonna say main, and inside this, but before doing that, I have to put a comment. So I'm gonna say main section start, and also its end. And inside this, I'm gonna create our main section. So I'm gonna say main, and after then, inside the main tag, I'm gonna create our category section. So I'm gonna put a comment here and say is it E? Yeah, categories section start, and it's end. So I'm just gonna end it up here. And after then, here we have to create a section. So I'm going to say section, and we need to give it a class. So this is going to have the class of container. And inside this section, what I'm going to do is to create a column. Before creating the columns, we have to put our HR. So I'm going to say HR and HR. And now if you take a look in our main project, you will here we go. We also have our scroll bar here. You will notice that we have this HR here. So after then, here after this HR, I'm going to create a row. So I'm going to say div, and this is going to be a row and have the gap of 5 between each elements. So this is I don't know what I call, but I just call it gap. It makes sense just for me. So after then I'm gonna create our columns. So I'm gonna say div, and this div gonna have some classes. So I'm gonna say a class, and this, its class gonna be something like in a large size it's gonna take 4 columns, and in medium size it's gonna take 6 columns, and actually and in a normal situation it's going to take 12 columns. I mean a small size, so it takes 12 columns. And after then I'm going to create another div, and inside div we're also going to give it a class. So I'm going to say class, and inside this class what I'm going to do is to give it a padding of 3, and we're going to give it a background color which is going to be primary, and the primary background is a blue background. And after then we're going to set its display to flex because we want to use justify content center, justify content to center, and also align items to the center. So after then here I'm gonna save it, and inside this div I'm gonna go and create our h1. So I'm gonna say h1, and inside this I'm gonna give it a class, and we want to this gonna be in white color. So I'm gonna say text white, and after then I'm gonna put a watch here. So if you take a look in this, we have watch here. Yes, we do. And now I'll save it, and after then we have our image. So to add the image, I'm just gonna say image and give it an src, which inside the image I just put the image name to image plural, but that's fine. So after then here we have to access the watch here. So now if I save it and take a look, you will see that our project is looking like this. So we need to duplicate this for a couple of times because we have 3 of them there. So I'm just going to copy it from here, copy, and actually before doing that I'm going to say first category. Oh, typing category is real too hard. And here I'm going to say second category. And I'm gonna paste those codes that I've copied before, and I'm gonna say third category, and after then paste the codes that I've copied. So now when we need to change these texts here, if you take a look, you'll see that it's looking like this, and we have to change these texts from here. Here in other section we have bag, so I'm gonna say bag, and we have to also change its text, its image. So here I'm just gonna pass the image, the back, and this is the image color, image name that I've gave it before. So after then at the end we have our shoes. Actually, yeah, it is shoes, and we need to change its picture too. So I'm just gonna say shoes. So now if you take a look, you'll see that it's looking like this. But if you notice, the middle one has the background color of yellow. So I'm going to go in the middle one, which is the back. And here, in place of primary, I'm going to give it a class name of warning. So now you see that its color changed. So after then, in the main project, let's say here we have 2 horizontal lines. So to do it, I'm gonna come and create our section. Actually, we have our shoes section here. So I'm gonna come here, and don't worry, I will put those horizontal lines too. So I'm gonna come here out of this category sections. I'm gonna come here and put a comment here. And inside this, what I'm gonna do is to say shoes section start, and we're gonna end it up here. And inside this, before doing that, I'm gonna type our HR. So if you take a look in our main project, you will see that we have our, is there something wrong here? It's is it closer to it? No, it isn't. So I'm going to create it inside the section. So after here, I told the category section, inside the shoes section, I'm going to create another section. So I'm going to say section, and inside this section, we have to give it a class of container. So I'm going to say container. And after that here, we also have to give it an ID, because you remember that these tabs refer to some specific or certain sections. So here I'm going to come and say give it an ID of shoe. So is it shoes or shoe? I don't know. Let's see. It's shoes. So I'm going to come here and say shoes. So after then, inside the section, what I'm gonna do is to create our h2 tag. Inside this, I'm just gonna say shoes section. Shoes. Now you will see that we have the shoes here, but before that, here we have to create our HR. So I'm gonna come here and say actually HR and HR. I don't know why this one is closer to this. Maybe, yeah, it shouldn't be inside. So nothing not too fancy to work on too much. So after then here inside the shoes, you see that the position of shoes is really perfectly fine, and I'm not gonna do any style on it. So after then here, I'm gonna create a row. So to create this, I'm gonna say div, and inside this we're gonna give it a class. This class gonna have the row, the class of row, and gap of 4 between the elements, and margin of 5 from top and bottom, and we're gonna justify everything to the center. So I'm gonna say justify content to the center. So after then inside this, for some reason when I was practicing this project to record this, I don't know, there is some div that I messed it up, and I decided to copy that code. Don't worry, I will walk you through all of those codes. So here we have those codes. So I'm just gonna copy this out and paste it down in our HTML. So I'm just gonna paste it down here, and I will explain what I did here. So after we have created our rows here, we gave it a gap of 4. I have already explained this. And here, and whenever our screen has the size of large, it's going to take the 4 columns of the web page. If it has the medium size, it's going to take this 6 columns of the web page, and in a small size, it's going to take the 12 columns, and also an extra small size is also going to take 12 columns, and in a small size, because there was some problem and it attached to other to other elements, I gave it a margin top in a small size of 4. So after then here I've copied this cards. So if you take a look in documentation of the Bootstrap, here you will face 2 cards. So where's the cards? Here we have our cards, and inside this the cards that I copy here is the first one, this one. I've copied the codes of this. So after this here, I give it the class of card. If you could just copy that one and from the documentation, by default it has it, but here I gave it a shadow and a height of 100 to just make it responsive, more responsive. Then I gave it the images. Actually this is image, and the shoes, the picture that we have in our project here is the shoe 1. And after then here, these are the Bootstrap class. You don't need to even know about. You just kind of copy. You just can copy this out from Bootstrap and paste it down here. Then we have our card title, which is supply 37, and also our card text, which is this one. So after then, at the end of this, I've created another div, and this div has a margin of 3 from all the sides. And inside this, we have our custom button, custom class that we've created before. So here, Joy BTN, and this is going to put this those style on this button. So after then, if I save it and take a look in a browser, you will see that it's looking like this. So after this, we need to copy this div for a couple of times. So I'm just gonna come here and see where this column ends. So I'm just gonna copy this from here till here, copy, and before doing that, I'm gonna put some comment. I'm gonna say first card, and here I'm gonna come and say second card. Did I remove anything? I feel like something removed. No. First card, sorry guys. And after that, this is going to be the second card. And here I'm just gonna paste it out, and this is going to be our third card, and also paste it down here. So now we have to, you will see that it's looking like this. We have to change its picture and its title. So I'm gonna go in main project because I'm gonna copy something, and here we need to change this one to I'm gonna go in a second one. This is the first one. I'm gonna change it to the 2. It's going to take the shoe 2 picture and change its title to, sorry, to what we have here. So I'm just gonna copy this out from here. Sorry. Copy this out from here and paste it down here. And here we have Lawrence, and you can put to just save our time. I just pass this here. I'm not gonna touch it. And I'm gonna go in our third card. Here we have our third card, and I'm gonna change it to image of 3. And after then we have to change its title too. So I'm just gonna copy this out from here and paste it down here. So now I'm gonna save it and take a look. You'll see that it is looking really amazing. So this is from our shoes section, and after then we have our backpack section, which is really so simple to the shoes section, but it's just its content is a little different. To make it easier, I save it, and I'm gonna copy all the shoes section from here. I like selecting with keyboard, so I'm gonna go here till this part. Brick. So after that, I'm just gonna copy this out from here, and I'm gonna come here and put a comment after the shoe section. So I'm gonna say backpack section start, and it's end. And inside this, I'm just gonna paste those codes that I've copied before. So you'll see that it's looking like this. We need to change its content. So I'm gonna come here, and the very first thing that we're gonna do is to change its H2 to backpack. So I'm gonna say backpack, dogs are fighting. So after then we have to change its title. Here we have H5, so I'm gonna go here and copy this out from here. All I did in this tutorial was copy and paste. That's why that I like Bootstrap. So after then we have to change its picture too, and that was the back one. And now I'm gonna go here and choose change this picture to back 2. So after then we have to change its title too. So I'm just gonna copy this title from here and paste it down here and change its image. I have already done that. And after then here I'm gonna change this one to back 3 and save it. And we also have to change its title, so I'm just gonna copy this out from here and put it in its title. English is really so difficult. So I'm gonna go in Joy Shop and refresh it. And now if you take a look, actually our cursor works. No, it don't, because it just passed one cursor here. So I'm gonna fix that. And after this here, you'll see that we have our shoes section and we have also our backpack section. But you notice the problem that here we only have one of these and one of the cursors. So I'm just gonna go here at the top and duplicate this cursor. So I'm gonna come here, and to fix it, so here we have our navbar, we have our cursor, and here we have our inner cursor. I'm just gonna copy this out. Yeah, we only have one of these. Copy this out from here till here, save it, and here I'm just gonna say second cursor, and after then I'm gonna paste it down here, and we need to get rid of this active state from here, and I'm gonna just get rid of this and go here and copy what we have in this project. So I'm just gonna copy this out from here to it, do not escape, and paste it down here. And also I'm gonna change its price to 1,200 and nothing else. Yes, all are fixed. So I'm gonna go in main project and take a look how it's looking. We should be wait for it to change. So yeah, it changed. We also have to change the background. So I mean the image here, we have the Xbox, an image called Xbox. So wait, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16 17 18 19 20 21 22 23 24 25 26 27. Oh, come on, I do not want to change it. So we should be wait for, before you know it, yeah, it changes. Damn it, it takes too much time. So after that we're gonna go and dive in right our last section, which is the subscribe section. So if you take a look here, we have the subscribe section. So I'm gonna come here, and still we are in the main section, but after the backpack section I'm gonna put a comment here and say subscribe section start, and it ends here. Let's say end, and after then here I'm gonna create our section. So to do it, I'm gonna come here inside this. I'm just gonna say section, and this is going to have an inline styling. So I'm gonna say style, and inside this we're just gonna what I'm gonna do is to give it a height. So I'm gonna say height, and its height is going to be 300 pixel. And after then we need to give it a class of container, and we're gonna give it the joy bg info. We have already created this custom class, and after then I'm gonna set its display to flex, and also sorry, what happened, justify content to the center, and align items to the center. So after this, inside the section I'm gonna come and create, actually we also have to give it an ID. So I'm gonna come here and say ID, and its ID gonna be subscribe, because we already gave this to it. So if I click on subscribe section here, it will takes us to the subscribe section. But the backpack does not work because we did not give it any, what's that, restart Visual Studio Code. Okay, I will do that. And here we have to give the backpack also an ID, which is shoes. Here it shouldn't be shoes, it is backpack. So now if you click on a backpack section, it takes us to the backpack, shoes, home, and subscribe. So I'm gonna go inside the subscribe section, and inside the subscribe section, before it closed, I'm gonna create a div. So I'm gonna say div. This div gonna have no class, and I'm gonna create an h1 here. So in here I'm just gonna say get in touch with Joy Shop, and after then here I'm gonna come and create our p tag, and our p tag gonna have some just lorem ipsum. So if you don't know about the lorem ipsum, if you just type lorem here and choose a number, for example we're gonna put 13 words here, so now it's gonna generate it. I didn't know before about, and then I saw some boy doing that on YouTube, and after then I understand that we do have the lorem ipsum in Visual Studio Code. Before that I was thinking that there is a package that we should install for lorem ipsum. So after then here I'm gonna have our input type. So I'm gonna say input, and this input type I'm gonna have the type of email. So I'm gonna say email, and after this I'm gonna give it a class, because here we are using Bootstrap, so its class gonna be form control. and we're gonna give it also you know, a placeholder. So I'm gonna say placeholder, and it is enter your email. So after this input type, I'm gonna put a BR, which it's a breakpoint, and after this I'm gonna create a div here, and this div gonna have a class. So I'm gonna say class, we're gonna set its display to flex, and after its display I'm gonna justify everything to the center. So I'm gonna say justify content to center, and after then here we're gonna create our button. So I'm gonna say button, and it's gonna have the class of joybtn. So inside this, I'm just gonna say subscribe. Subscribe. So now if you take a look, go here. Haha, looking pretty nice. And the last thing that we have to do in our project is to put this all rights reserved here. So to do it, I'm gonna get out of this section, and you can also create your custom footer. So to do it, I'm just gonna keep it simple here. So I'm gonna say footer, and we don't have to put a comment here because it is too small. And inside this, what I'm gonna do is to give it some classes. So I'm gonna say inside the class, I'm gonna say class, and we're gonna give it a margin type of 5. This is not margin top 5 pixel. It is maybe RAM, something like that. So after this, we're gonna give it a margin bottom of margin y of 5. This is going to add margin and on top and in bottom. I'm pointing with my hand like you're seeing me. So after that, I'm gonna give it the class of text to center. So inside the footer, I'm gonna create our p tag, and inside this p tag, I'm gonna give it a small tag, and inside this, I'm just gonna paste this out. But here, you can't easily find the copyright symbol. So to use it on HTML, you got to say add copy, and at the end put a semicolon. So now if you take a look, you'll see that these are fine. Yes. So this was from our project, and I really had some fun here because I enjoyed creating long tutorials, and it makes me to talk much. I love talking. So if you guys enjoyed this tutorial, you can hit the subscribe button to my YouTube channel to just motivate me to create tutorials like this. So take care of yourself, and heartily bye.